video is going to be the full process of how I drew this illustration, which is for a book. The book is not published yet, but when it will be, I will put a link in the description. And there is a specificity about these illustrations for this book because it is going to be published as an ebook, as a color print, and as a black and white print, so interior black and white. So the drawings are made in a way that is going to work in all of these formats. I'm going to be using the selection tool. I'm going to be using layer masks and inverting layer masks and inverting selections. So if you're interested in that, you'll see a little bit how to use it. So for this, I am creating a document of 500 pixels per inch, which is a little bit more than you need for print, which is 300. But because maybe I'll cut off the edges and I don't know how much I need to zoom in and zoom out at the end, I'm gonna just make a little bit extra. It's an A4 format and I am making it horizontal. I am going to actually trace the image. I know that's very disappointing, but it's important because it has to be exact. So I have opened the photo on another program, and here I'm going to say copy, and then I will see if I can just paste it in. Yes, it's made its own layer here, and I'm going to move this just a little bit and like this, and we're going to free transform it because I want it bigger, so constrain proportions. And here I'm gonna just pull it out, move it. I hit enter for this one, or apply here. It's very slow now. First thing we're going to do is make our black and white image. And so we take the layer with the photo, we lower the opacity a little bit so we're going to see what we're doing. We take the layer on top of it, and then this one, the one with the image, we can put a block on it, and this one on the bottom is going to be filled with white. Later on, this will need a background, so it's just for me so I can manipulate in case I want to. And this one I will also lock so I don't accidentally start drawing on another layer and I don't notice. Then I go to pen. I want something that's not too big. So let's see if that's going to be all right. Yeah, that's, well, a little bit thicker. And also you make sure that you have opacity 100% here. So this we're going to draw a little bit on doggy here. This is a very nice dog. This is my dog. This one I'm drawing now is my dog. He's a very nice dog. He has very scary teeth, but he doesn't use them to puncture human flesh. So, no reason not to like him. This is him playing with his best friend, Tina. And this is gonna take a while, so I'm just gonna do it as a speed up. So you're gonna see this as a speed up.
Star fell out of the sky right before my wishing well went dry. Seems every which way I go, there's a black cat crossing the road. Played the lottery with last month's rent. I'm still waiting on my ship to come in. Bad luck was always hanging around. A good roll was always letting me down. I had every reason in the world to give up, but you came along and now it's gone.
Okay, so now everything is filled in. We have an outline that is traced. And now we can get rid of the back image, and this is the outline that we have from our photo. And now what I want to do is I want to make a layer mask so that when I fill this in with blacks, with grays, with everything, and then with color, and also for the background, there will be a clear division between the outside and the inside of the dogs. So I'm going to get my selection tool, which is this, and then the mode for selection. So I want to add to selections, so every time I do something it'll be more selected, and I want a freeform selection so I have the right side, and I'm going to just select everything that is dog. And now what you see is the problem here that you can't start inside, and usually you do want to start inside. If you hold shift, then you can allow this thing to start inside without moving it around, because otherwise if I just don't hold shift, even if I have this on, it'll just move the selection, which we don't want. So I just hold shift when I start, and then when I get outside of the thing, I don't have to keep holding the shift. I just have to keep drawing. So, and like this, I'm going to select all of the shape of the dogs. So again, speed up.
My first love said she'd love me for life. Slipped out one night and never told me goodbye. My second love convinced me love again. Then she left me for my best friend. My third and fourth went crazy as hell. I even bought a rabbit's foot, but that didn't help. Bad luck was always hanging around. A good roll was always letting me down. I had every reason in the world to give up, but you came along and now it's gone so long. Bad luck.
Okay, so now we have the outline for both of the dogs done, and now we're going to make a layer mask, and we're going to make it on a group because I want to be able to put lots of things inside it. So I create a group and then I click mask, and so what I have done has now become a mask. And now I would like to correct that mask because there's a lot of fur and stuff and I don't want to have a problem later on. So what I do then is I create a layer inside of the mask, and you can see how it's indented, so it's inside. I'm going to pick a color, a dark color preferably, and I'm going to get the dunking tool, and then I'm going to just dunk. Okay, why is it black? Oh, because I didn't pick a color. Okay, I want another color like this. I'm going to move the outlines on top. So now we can see the outlines and we can see the little problems. So here, let's change this to pen. So here we can see there is like a little dot. Here some of the outlines and the stuff doesn't go exactly as it should. So this is our opportunity to fix the mask. Now the blue has nothing to do with it. The blue just shows us where the problems are. But what you have to do is you have to go on the layer mask, so on this little icon, click on that, and here you have white, which is what is visible, and black, which is invisible. So if you want to make something visible, you just go all the way to white, you take the pen and you draw on that, and that'll make it. And what is interesting here is, for example, if you want a mask to fade out, let's use it as an example. Let's say we want to fade something out. So you don't want a rough edge here on the mask, but you want a smooth edge. Then what you can do is do this. You can just add strokes and it'll be half masked. So I'm not drawing with the blue. I am drawing with the mask visibility, with the transparency of the mask. I don't want that, obviously. And now we're gonna go into all of our little dots here. And here you can now fix the mask by drawing with white on what you want to be part of the area that the mask allows to be visible. So what's blue here is basically what is going to be visible on layers that are inside of this mask. So like that. And then if you care, of course, because this is only if it matters. And then sometimes you're going to find places where there is too much of the mask, so you want to get rid of some of this. In other words, make it invisible. So you change your color to black, and then you just do this with the black color, and you're going to have that. Then you change to white, and again you are making things visible. Now there are some places here on the bottom where the grass is, which I have to say that my outlines are more the problem than the mask. So I'm just gonna get rid of my outlines where they don't align with the mask. Now the first thing I'm going to color here is the black and white image. So that's the basis. So I make a layer inside of my dog layer, and I'm going to only go on black. Well, I'm gonna do some shading, and for this I need to see the back. So now what I'm gonna do, not to get these rough edges, I'm using an airbrush, because I just want to get the blacks, and then I'm gonna just rub them out. I can do this with selection also. You already have sort of the dogs selected because you're working inside of the layer, and if you want to, you can do, for example, that you just want to draw the blackness on this dog, right? Here it doesn't matter, but let's say I'm just doing this rough, right? So I want to draw just on this, and then if I do that, and then I draw here, it will not go outside of what I've selected. So that is a way to work with selections. But remember that when you have a selection, you have to go up to the left and then you click and deselect. And that's also Control D to get rid of the selection. So there you are. And then that stays. It doesn't move. And since we're on a separate layer and since it wasn't well done, we're just gonna get rid of that. But I just want to get all my blacks in here, and I'm gonna look at this to see where I have a lot of them. This is very black. This is nice because the selection is on the outside. Here is like this. We're gonna do just a little bit here, just a little bit smaller here. And this is for the black and white version of the drawing. Now he's wet here, but if he wasn't wet, this part would have been very black. So I'm not gonna respect the fact that my dog was dirty in this picture.
You're my lucky four-leaf clover, horseshoe over my shoulder. 7, 11, girl, I'm lucky I found you. Bad luck was always hanging around. A good roll was always letting me down. I had every reason in the world to give up, but you came along and now it's gone so long. Bad luck, so long, bad luck. Oh, so long.
So doing the black and white part is extremely long, so I'm just gonna show you the faces of the two dogs and then we're gonna move on to color. And as you can see, I'm already using the reference window here. So you go up to Windows and then you find Reference. And when you open that, you choose your file. So I chose the same photo that I'm working with. And that way I have it next to my image. So I don't have to put on the photo that is underneath because I won't see the details anymore because I have too much black. So this is the way to see the colors and not have it obstructed by what you've already drawn.
How many mistakes can I make before I start to see? How much love will it take to make me not wanna leave? How many tears can I cry before all my tears run dry? Will I ever be free? Will I ever be free? Lord, I wanna be free. Well, I'm a broken rider, I'm a restless fighter, and I'm looking for a little hope. I'm a shadow thinker, I'm a one-eyed blinker at the end of his rope. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a preacher talking about love and how to be I'm a dying ghost with a heart like most, but Lord, ain't no one else like me. Looking back at the promises that I could never keep, I wonder if there was ever any truth at all in me. Sometimes I wanna run away, go start over in another place, but I'll never be free.
Okay, so now the dogs are all done in black and white, and I'm going to save this as a, I've already saved it as a Photoshop also, but as a PNG, and I'm going to save it as well. And now we're going to do colors. So the next step is to lock this layer so we don't accidentally destroy it, and then we make another layer that goes underneath the layer of black and white. And now I'm going to use, now you can use any kind of colors, but I have these Resource Boy brushes, and I'm gonna see if I can't use one of those. Now you can color pick directly from the reference, so well, this one, chick, like this, and that way you're gonna have a pretty close color. That doesn't mean that's exactly the color I want. Might want something a little bit more like this. I'm gonna make the coloring thing a little bigger because it just annoys me. This I have to do with the mouse because it annoys me that it's so small. Okay, better. And you, my dear, are going to move down. Thank you. Okay, so I have this color. I've chosen it. Well, I think this will be better. And then I'm gonna try one of these brushes that I've transported from Photoshop. Now, I have a separate video about how to get these watercolor stamp brushes into, I'm looking for something that will be muddled. How to get them into this program, opencanvas. Yeah, here, muddled. Okay, so we want this, and it's 2000, so let's see. Well, it's not very particularly fantastic. Okay, let's go to like 700. Okay, yeah, that's better. So I can do this, can do also 700, about like this, and that way you can make a pattern like this, and it'll be a little bit abstract. So you can use this or not. I am just using this usually as a base for my dogs, because they are going to be, let's get rid of this, because that is sort of their base color, and then I treat this later on. So I color picked by accident. My dog will not be green. So the reason I am using these stamp brushes is because that is the style of the drawings for this book. When the book will be published, I will put it here as a link in the description. But right now, that is sort of an established style I have in the book, which is these fake digital watercolors. And I don't just use them. I use a lot of different ways of painting, but they are sort of the basis, because they do give a certain kind of texture to the image and a lightness. So even if you take watercolors and you paint with watercolors, it doesn't really, I mean watercolor brushes here, this has like a better effect, to me at least. Now there is an element of blue, and that looks a little bit weird when you're drawing it, I'm not worried about going a little abstract here, but I'm not gonna do this with these brushes. Instead, I'm gonna close those right now, and I'm gonna go down to watercolor. So just a basic watercolor open canvas brush, and I'm going to get blue. And it may seem strange to put blue on a drawing like this, but if you look at these areas here, you can see that there is actually blue here. You just have to like really look closely to notice it. So this is a comment from post-editing. Using a watercolor brush was a crappy idea because it does always mix even if you set it on minimal mixing, and that made the dog's color green, and dogs aren't green. So I had to change to a regular brush. So in that case, it's just better to use the airbrush, which will also be a soft color. And here I'm gonna do the airbrush with the blue because I don't want it to mix. Here we go. I'm gonna move just a little bit. We have the blue. I want this blue to be a little bluer. And here a little bit of blue here. And also on this doggy we have a little bit, well, that's a bit extreme, isn't it? We have a little bit of blue here. We have a lot of bit of, oh, that's a bit much. We have a lot of blue here. We have just an inkling of blue in this part. And here, definitely blue on the nose. Then I'm going to clean up everything that's, and all of this black stuff will have like a blue shade because when it's really, really black, the shine is blue. Everything that's in the shade, you can basically say, or that is black, can be accentuated with blue. So it feels weird, but of course it depends on how realistic you want it, because I really don't care if it's perfectly realistic. This is borderline abstract. So we are doing that. This is very blue, this bit here. This is so blue, you'd think it's a piece of sky. And the reason that blue is a color that appears in shade is that where you don't have the sunshine, the sky, which is blue, like here you can clearly see how blue it is. And the reason for that is because the sky is blue, and where the sun isn't shining, you're gonna get the reflections from the sky, which is why you get blue.
I'm a shadow thinker, I'm a one-eyed blinker at the end of his rope. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a preacher talking about love and how to be free. I'm a dying ghost with a heart like most, Lord, ain't no one else.
And then we are going to do a final cleanup, because when I draw like this, it just goes all over the place, so I'm not so very exact. Anyway, here we are getting our eraser, and we are going to clean up the stuff
that I could never keep. I wonder if there was ever any truth at all in me. Sometimes I want to run away, go start over at another place, but I'll never be.
And now the final bit of coloring of the dogs, which is the eyes and the teeth, the tongues and everything. And I do that on a separate layer just because I don't know why, but I do.
I'm a dead man walking, I'm a preacher talking about love and how to be free. I'm a dying ghost with a heart like most, but Lord, ain't no one else like me. I'm a broken rider, I'm a restless fighter, and I'm looking for a little hope. I'm a shadow thinker, I'm a worn-out blinker at the end of his rope. I'm a dead man walking, a preacher talking about love and how to be free. But I'm a dying ghost with a heart like most, but Lord, oh Lord, ain't no one else like me.
Okay, so now the only thing that remains to do is the background. And as we can see on the reference image, the background sucks. So I'm not gonna take any inspiration from that because basically there is nothing. So I managed not to record how I inverted the mask. I'm going to do it again just to show it. So this is the mask for the dogs. So you press Control and you click this little black and white icon, and that way you get this selected again. And maybe it's difficult to see, but there is like little lines going down the dog. And what you do then is you go up to the left on Select and you click Inverse. And now what it has done is that everything else except the dogs will be the mask. And now again, you do the same thing. You create a folder or a layer set, as it is called. And here you click Mask. And now you have a reverse mask. This is a double because I'm recording this later, but what you put inside of this mask will only be visible on the outside. So I'm gonna just show you how that works. I'm gonna put a layer, I'm gonna do something like this, very orange and very pink, and just dunk it in here. Oh, and now you can see that the entire page is filled. So this is the area you're going to be able to work on when you do the background. And just to explain why the layers have to be separated and masked this way, I'll show you that these are watercolors, so they're not opaque, they're watercolor brushes. So if I take a color on the background and I just play it like this, you can see it's gonna show through the dogs because there is nothing opaque on the dogs. So another way to do this, if you don't want to do the double layer, the inverse layer, which I already have here, is just to put a layer inside of the dog group, so it's indented like this, and then you dunk it with white, right? And you don't see any difference because it's white on white. But if you now make another layer, let's get another layer, get it out of the group, right? No, not that much out of the group here. And now we take our pen again and we do the same thing. So then it's going to block it. It's going to keep the dogs from getting transparented. And that's because it is a white layer that is filling in the dogs at the bottom of all the dog layers. So in the dog mask group, you can put in one layer that is white, and then you don't need the separate mask for the background. I find it to be a pretty busy image, so a lot of happening things in the background are not necessarily good for this image. And I do want to use the watercolor brushes, which I have transported from Photoshop. So this is gonna take a little while because you just have to experiment your way away. Now what I have to do is I go on the background layer, I make, oh wait a minute, I'm gonna lock all of these layers because I hate it when I mess something up accidentally. So I have here a layer that is inside the background layer set. It's called set. In Photoshop it's group, so I call them groups. And here I'm going to just experiment with colors. Yeah, the flat ones. If you have like an image like a stamp brush like this, and you want to make another one, but you don't want the little dark area here, then what you can do is just make another layer for each one, and then you can go in on each layer and just give me, where is the soft eraser? That's right. And then you can just erase, well, size would be great. And then you can just erase away. So you really have to get in there, make that eraser a little bit more tight, so you don't have the big blotches of double color if you don't want them. I really don't know what I want. So I'm gonna cut it here and show the final product. Okay, so I've stamped this of the background, and now I want like this base layer thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all of these together so they are one thing. No, I don't need that. No, this one is the only one I need. Okay, so now I'm just gonna get my selection tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, this is already selected, but here I want everything that this dog is having, this. I probably want a lot of this, so we are drawing grass.
My lucky star fell out of the sky right before my wishing well went dry. Seems every which way I go, there's a black cat crossing the road. Played the lottery with last month's rent. I'm still waiting on my ship to come in. Bad luck was always hanging around. A good roll was always letting me down. I had every reason in the world to give up, but you came along and now it's gone. So long, bad luck.
I think. So I have this bottom bit and selected, and what I can do now is remove the pink. Hold on. Remove the pink from this so it won't mix and bother me. And then just to be safe, I can make, wait, hold on. We're gonna get another one. Move. Yes, there we go. I will make a mask. So I have this outline as I had it, but I still want to have this selected. So I'm gonna select this, and then I'm gonna get a thing. And now I'm gonna stamp a different colors of brushes on the bottom part. So I'm gonna find those brushes, hold on. So when you have a brush and you don't like the direction that it has, for example, I'm not sure about this one, but if you want to change something, then you go in on the little cogwheel here, and then you get this. So I'm just going to get rid of it to show. You click this, and under not brush will be the first thing. Under pen nib, the second title, here you can turn that brush around. So you can have it like this. If you don't like it, it'll be like this. So you can turn it around in different directions.
Love said she'd love me for life. Slipped out one night and never told me goodbye. My second love convinced me love again. Then she left me for my best friend. My third and fourth went crazy as hell. I even bought a rabbit's foot, but that didn't help. Bad luck was always hanging around. A good roll was always letting me down. I had every reason in the world to give up, but you came along and now it's gone. So long, bad luck. Four-leaf clover, horseshoe over my shoulder. 7 come 11, girl, I'm lucky I found you. Bad luck was always hanging around. A good roll was always letting me down.
pretty much the way it's gonna be in the book. It's not gonna be very different than this. So obviously, when you look at something and you think it's finished, it's not finished. And when you look at it the day after, you're gonna find things that are wrong with it. And the week after, you're gonna find more stuff that's wrong with it. So I don't like this bit here. It needs to be fixed. So on the dog's layers, we're gonna, no. I want this. I want a layer to be here, okay. And I want the dog brown, but I want a dark color. And I want an airbrush. Because this is just too light. This doesn't look natural that it's going into the grass, and it's too light for going into the grass. Same for this one. Okay, and now for the grass layer, which number did do? 31. There's gonna be an empty 30 here. Where the hell is it? Can't find it. Okay, never mind. Here it is. This is an empty layer, right? Right. So on this layer, which we're gonna bring down to here, and we're gonna rename it because, okay. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know why I say we, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this brush. So while I draw, I don't always speak coherently. What I am doing here is I am putting darker accents on the grass. So I'm drawing in the grass and I'm gonna put some shadows behind the dogs, under the dogs, so it makes it all like melt in. And I'm gonna speed this up because it gets annoying.
How many mistakes can I make before I start to see? How much love will it take to make me not wanna leave? How many tears can I cry before all my tears run dry? Will I ever be free? Will I ever be free? Lord, I wanna be free. Well, I'm a broken rider, I'm a restless fighter, and I'm looking for a little hope. I'm a shadow thinker, I'm a one-eyed blinker at the end of his rope. I'm a dead man walking, I'm a preacher talking about love and how to be free. I'm a dying ghost with a heart like most, but Lord, ain't no one else like me. Looking back at the promises that I could never keep, I wonder if there was ever any truth at all in me. Sometimes I want to run away, go start over in another place, but I'll never be.
So this is the final product. I've sort of added a lot of abstract stuff on the bottom. Well, anyway, it is what it is. So this is the final product. I'm not doing anything more. Now I'm saying I'm done. So now I have to convert this image to CMYK, so I have to transfer it to Photoshop. I'm not gonna do it in this video because it has become so incredibly long. So it'll be a separate video about that.
Ain't no one else